Hello, thank you for being here. My name is Alex. Please subscribe for more videos about yoga, and we will begin today's practice. This flow will help you to get closer to your splits. And let's start out in a child's pose. Knees about mat width distance. Aim to have them a little bit wider than you might want, just because we need to get into the hips. Start by bringing yourself to the present moment. Begin by focusing on the breath. Start as an observer. And then gently take control as you inhale through the nose. Through the mouth, exhale. Do that a couple more times on your own, adding a little bit on to the exhale as a way to expel any stale air that might slow you down, mentally as well as physically. After a few rounds of breaths like that, switch the breath to in and out through the nose. Still an emphasis on the exhale so you can soften down and notice the texture of whatever surface you're on, the temperature of the air around you. Relax the torso so you can really fill the stomach, the whole body. The present moment is right now. Press up to a tabletop. Bring the knees underneath the hips, and hands are going to be a shoulder width distance. 3 cat-cow. Inhale, arch the back. Tops of the feet are down. And then exhale, scoop the tailbone, tuck the chin. 2 more, moving with intention. Inhale, open up, breathe in. Longer exhale, start to pull the stomach in and to press the hands down. Once more. Breathe in. Long exhale. Neutral spine. Tuck the toes and draw a circle with the hips, moving forward almost to an upward facing dog and then almost back to a child's pose. Switch directions. And then come back to neutral spine tabletop. Tuck the toes, hover the knees just an inch or so off of the mat, spreading energy engagement through the body. Beginning to slow down the breath as a way to stay calm during stress. Inhale. Exhale, press back to downward facing dog. Feet about hip width, hands shoulder width. Move through the feet, press down one heel at a time as you bend the other knee. While we're here, lift up onto the toes, place the nail bed side of one foot on the mat, and then rock a little bit side to side to stretch the front part of the foot and the knuckles. Switch sides. Try not to sink into the back part of your hands. If your palms are hurting, move the weight to the front part of the hand. Downward facing dog. Keep the knees soft and walk to the top of the mat. And find a ragdoll. Relax over the legs, feet comfortable distance. Knees are soft so the entire back body can relax. I like to bend and straighten both knees. Lift one heel at a time. You might be on a block or a prop. Toes and heels touch. Relax over the legs. Long exhale, knees are soft. Round up to standing. Build up one vertebrae at a time. Find good posture. Lower the tailbone. Lengthen the tailbone. Draw the core in. Hands to heart center. Connect to the present moment by focusing on the breath and staying with each sensation you feel. Inhale, reach the arms overhead. Seal the palms, and then look up at your hands. One more sip of air. Long exhale as you soften the knees and forward fold. Step the right foot back to a lunge. Left knee over the left ankle. Feel a stretch through the foot, the back one. Inhale, lower the right knee, shoulders draw back. Feel the right hip flexors. We're here for a couple of breaths. I'm up on fingertips. Facial muscles are relaxed. Press back to try to straighten both legs for pyramid pose. You don't have to straighten right away. I'm on fingertips or a block, trying to straighten both legs, and you can be pressing through the back heel to stretch the Achilles. Shift your weight forward back to a lunge. Draw on the core so the back knee is lifted. Right hand down, left arm opens up to the side for a lunge twist. Fingers spread wide, look up at the left thumbnail. Left hand down. Step up to the top of your mat. Let's keep both feet soft in a forward fold, both knees soft, and start to notice the differences between the sides. Draw on the core, bend the knees, round up to standing. Inhale, arms overhead. This time interlace the fingers, index finger out, and try to press a button on the ceiling. The neck can go back if that's comfortable for you. About 3 short rounds of breath. Lift out, bend the knees, forward fold. Left foot back to a lunge. Even as you start to predict what's coming next, stay in the present moment, give each pose its time. So set up the lunge, right knee over the ankle, tall on the toes of the back foot, and the left leg is straight. Lower the left knee, shoulders back. Leave the back foot tucked, up on fingertips. And just feel the sensation grow through the left hip flexor. Pressing back into pyramid pose. Straighten the front leg if you can. It doesn't have to go all the way. And you're stretching through the back calf. Breathe deeply. And then we're back to a lunge. Press forward, leave the back knee up, left hand down, right arm up. Right hand back down. Step up to the top of your mat. Lengthen over both legs with a long exhale. Start to notice what's different from just a little bit ago. And press up to standing. Float the arms overhead, hold onto the left wrist with the right hand, and pull up and lean to the right. Pull up more than you lean, bump your hips to the left side, body stretching. And lift up, switch out the grip. Lift up and lean to the left, kind of like a good morning stretch. And lift back up, finding our first back bend. Inhale, look up at the hands, index fingers out, the neck can go back, and just bump your hips forward a little bit, 3 rounds of breath. Release out, forward fold. Back flexibility, shoulder flexibility will help you with your splits. Just go with it. Inhale, halfway lift, roll the shoulder blades back. And from here, place your hands on the mat, step it back to plank. Then lower all the way down to the mat. Make a fist with your left hand. Rest your forehead there and pull the right foot in toward the glute as you press the hips down for a quad stretch. Switch sides, and remember that pressure on the forehead is the third eye center. You know to trust your intuition. And release. Press up to an upward facing dog, so you're going to have to wiggle there a little bit. Leave the knees soft and feel the front body opening up. Lean onto the left hip, look over the right shoulder for the back right corner of the mat, and take a breath. Switch sides. Should feel this right above the hip bone, all the way through the side body. Come back to center. Inhale, upward facing dog. Tops of the feet press down. The knees might lift. One more inhale. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Feet hip width, hands shoulder width. Reach the right leg back and up. Press into the right hand, squeeze the right glute, and let the hips open up. You're pressing the right hand down to try to level the shoulders, and you're reaching the left heel for the mat, but try not to sink the arch down. Take a few breaths. Right foot steps up between the hands. Crescent lunge. Bring your hands to your hips, so lift the upper body up, tall on the toes of the back foot. Hands to hips will help you to establish shoulders over the hips. And then reach the arms overhead. Again, let's keep the elbows soft. Even if you're super advanced, you can work with me. Elbows are soft, palms face each other. Feel this grow in the right leg, the strength building. And if you want to, sit down a little bit lower, but draw the lower belly in. Bring the biceps by the ears, keep the shoulders relaxed. My hands are behind me a little bit. And then gently unbend for a couple more breaths. Float your hands down to frame the right foot. We're in a lunge. Inhale, lower the left knee, draw the shoulder blades back. Long exhale, pyramid pose. Start to straighten both legs. Lunge, draw in the core as the hips start to open, lunge twist. Left hand down, right arm up. Right hand back down. Step back to downward facing dog. Find stillness. Notice where you feel like moving, and then make a decision and act on it. Make a decision to not move. Lift up onto the toes, tuck the chin, and ripple through to upward facing dog. Leave the toes tucked, the knees soft. Open up the front of the neck. Inhale. And long exhale back to downward facing dog. Left leg back and up. Squeeze the left glute. Level the shoulders by pressing the left hand. And find a place you can hold for a few rounds of breath. Relax the muscles of your face. Lift out of the right foot arch. Left foot steps up for crescent lunge. Set up a lunge first. Strong front leg. You want that knee over the ankle. And hands to hips. Even if this is your 50th year of yoga, let's bring hands to hips. Set up the torso. Let the back knee stay soft so you can stretch the back foot. Arms lift overhead. Relax the shoulders. Let the elbows stay soft. Palms face one another. Relax the shoulders. You might start to unbend the elbows a little bit, but no rush. We want to do yoga forever, right? So, strong foundation will be helpful for that. Float the hands down. Frame the left foot, lunge. Draw in the core. Inhale, lower the right knee. Draw the shoulders back. Long exhale to pyramid pose. Straightening both legs. Start to press into the hands. Now lift onto the toes of the back foot. Keep the legs straight. Find a lunge. Bend the left knee. Lunge, twist. Right hand down. Open up. Keep the entire arm in view and lengthen it away from you. Left hand down. Step it back to downward facing dog, and please try to stay still. I know you want to wiggle, I know you want to move, but let's just see if we can feel where we want to move and then choose our actions. Lift up onto the toes, upward facing dog, ripple through, keep the chin tucked till the very end. Inhale. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Look between the hands, walk or hop forward, forward fold. I'm going to do Padahastasana from the front. You will separate your feet about 2 fists, maybe 1 block with distance. Bend the knees. And you're going to slide your palms up underneath the feet. Relax the knees, shoulders away from the ears. Don't worry, you're not going to fall far if you do, but I don't think you're going to fall. Relax the shoulders, bend the knees. Try to rest the chest on the thighs. The elbows will bend out to the sides. If this is too much, you'll hold your big toes or even just do whatever forward fold is available. Relax the head and the neck. Engage the biceps. And begin to lift your tailbone up and toward the top of your mat. My legs are a little bit bent, but I can feel the stretch all the way through the entire back body. Use the arms to create the stretch. A couple more breaths. Release. Step off of the hands. Bring the toes and the heels to touch. Relax over the legs. Find some more length in your forward fold. Now start to reach. Halfway lift, just about halfway lift. And set up a squat. So separate your feet about mat width distance. Heels in, toes out. Bring the palms to touch. And try to keep the feet flat. If they're not flat, just work on putting a towel underneath there, or just stay up a little bit higher, lean forward. Just a few breaths. Seal the palms. Relax the jaw, your thoughts. Forward fold. Bring the feet back together. Soften the knees, relax over the legs. And round up to standing. Let's find good posture for a moment. Place one hand on the lower belly, one on the tailbone, lower back, and just encourage a little bit of a scoop. You might need to separate the feet slightly, a little bit of a tuck so that you're not arching, and bring the palms to heart center. Lift out of the arches. Appreciate the breath, your ability to be here right now doing what you're doing. Turn to face the long edge of your mat for Warrior 2 on the right side. Separate your feet. You want wrists over the ankles. Turn the right toes to face the front of the mat. The left edge of the left foot will be parallel to that edge of the mat. Draw in the core and bend the right knee. Actually, bring your hands to hips before you bend the knee. So hands to hips, and you want the shoulders over your hips. Bring your palms to touch. Pull in the lower stomach, press the feet down flat, and then arms out in front of you, palms down. Fingers are sealed. Open them up to the sides. Relax the shoulders. Look over the right hand. Take a couple of breaths. This is Warrior 2. Straighten the right leg. Turn the right toes to face forward and fold forward over both legs. Bend into the right knee. Keep both feet flat. We're stretching the left inner thigh, the outside of the left ankle as well. Try to keep the spine kind of long. A prop would be used underneath your hands. Let's come back to center. With the hands, your legs are still separate. Put the right hand underneath your nose on the floor and open up to the left. Twist. Press down into the right with the right hand. Keep the spine long. Left hand back down to the mat. Hands to your hips. Lift up. Draw in the core. Warrior 2, left side. So leave the right toes pointing straight ahead as far as they're parallel to the short edge of the mat. Start with hands to hips. Squeeze the left glute. And then reach your arms out in front of you. This is just one way to approach it. I like this because I can soften the shoulders. And then open the arms side to side. Get everything else reset up, and then look over the left hand. And then look at yourself in the mirror. Press down through both feet. And yes, we're doing a lot of things around the splits, but it all adds up, don't worry. Straighten the left leg. Let's turn the left toes to face forward and come to a forward fold. I guess we could just do splits the whole time, but maybe another video. Bend the left knee. Let's keep both feet flat to stretch the right inner thighs and maybe some of the outside of the right foot and ankle. Try to keep the spine long. I was sitting back a little. Press back up. Walk your hands to the middle of your feet. Lengthen out the spine. You might need to walk forward a little bit. Left hand down. Twist open to the right. Keep the feet flat. Breathe. Take a small sip of air. And right hand back down to the mat. Walk your hands over to the right side of your mat for lizard lunge. Both hands are going to be inside of the right foot. Bend the left knee and lower it to the mat. Start out propped up on fingertips. To add on, tuck the chin and scoop the tailbone forward. Stay here or soften down onto a block or your forearms. You can untuck the back foot or leave it tucked if you want. Lift and lower the back leg a little bit to work the hamstrings. Just a few rounds of breath. But find the present moment, find a long exhale. Let's press into the hands to start to lift up. We're going to take this to the other side. So just turn the right toes forward. Walk your way to the left leg. Start to lift onto the toes of the right foot. Lower the right knee down. And let's all start with a couple of breaths propped up on fingertips. I'm a huge fan of building a strong foundation. Left knee is still over the ankle. To build from here, lower the chin all the way down to the chest and scoop the tailbone. And if you did so on the other side, soften down to your forearms, lift and lower the back knee a couple of times. And that's about 4 to 5 rounds of lengthened, smooth breathing, depending on your speed and relaxation level. Press into the hands to lift up and come back to the middle of your mat with the legs separate and just relax over the legs. Toes are pointing forward. You might sway side to side, finding a gentle twist in the torso. Hands to hips, come up to standing. Ooh, hi. Interlace your hands behind the back. You can use a towel or a strap if you need to. Inhale, lift. And exhale, fold forward. Let the hands float over the body. Don't muscle anything. You're just using some gravity. Shift the hands away from the body a little bit, but not pushing them. Don't push them down to the floor. Release the hands to the mat in front of you. Right hand down, twist open to the left. And switch sides. Left hand down, right arm up. Right hand down. Hands to hips, stand up. Heels in, toes out. Hands to your knees. Let's bend the knees, or your hands are on top of the legs. Use a little bit of a shoulder shrug to assist in opening the knees out. Lower the right shoulder, pull the left shoulder back, press the right knee away. And switch sides. Left shoulder down, right shoulder blade back. Come back to center. Let's stand up and meet at the top of the mat. Find that good posture again. Use your hands to assist if you need to. Lift and spread the toes and then sit them down. Speaking of sitting down, Utkatasana, chair pose, awkward pose. Bend the knees, wiggle the toes. Strength is worthless without flexibility, and vice versa. Not worthless, that's a strong word. We're lengthening the tailbone away from the fingertips. Bring the palms to touch. Lower the hands down to heart center and find that good posture with the lower body. And a breath. On an inhale, lift the arms overhead. Gentle back bend or any arm variation you'd like. Just lifting up. Think of the whole front body stretching, lengthening. Lift out, forward, fold, bend the knees. And then find length in the back of the legs as you fold. Halfway lift, inhale. From here, step it back to plank pose. And lower all the way down to the mat. Rest your forehead on the left hand. Bring the right foot in toward the glute. Press the hips down for a quad stretch. Switch sides. Remember that pressure, the third eye center. Trust your intuition. Release. Press up to your upward facing dog. So you're going to wiggle, figure out how to get there. Unshrug the shoulders, weight in the front parts of the hands, and lean on the left hip, look over the right shoulder. And switch sides. Notice if this feels any different. Back to center. Inhale, open up the chest. Tops of the feet can press down. Long exhale back to downward facing dog. Find stillness. Right leg back and up. Squeeze the right glute. Press the left heel down. Press the right hand down. Right foot up between the hands. Crescent lunge. Tall on the toes of the back foot. Stay low. Reach the arms overhead. Let the elbows stay soft or start to straighten the back leg and the elbows. Just for a breath. Have confidence in your body-mind connection. Choosing your actions. Inhale, lift. And exhale, sweep the hands down to frame the right foot. Inhale, lower the left knee. Leave the toes tucked. And on an exhale, press all the way back into a half split. I'm going to use a block underneath the right sit bone. You can also sit on your left heel or sit inside of the heel. Reach up, inhale, and fold forward over the right leg. Sole of the foot is facing away from you. For extra, you'll pull the toes toward you. For more, you'll put a block on the other side of your foot. We're here for a few rounds of breath. Be as gentle or as intense as you need. Like I said, yoga is something you want to do forever. It's not worth it to go all out on one day and then not want to again. It's movement for life. All right, release. Let's press into the hands to sit up. Shift your weight back forward into a lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step it back to downward facing dog. Find stillness. Find length. Scan the body right to left. Lift onto the toes, tuck the chin, ripple through upward facing dog. Lean on the left hip, look over the right shoulder. And switch. Bring it back to center. Inhale, lift, and exhale. Back to downward facing dog, stillness. Left leg back and up. Pull in the core. Level the shoulders by pressing the left hand a little bit extra. Breathe. Left foot up between the hands. Crescent lunge. Strong front leg. Finding a little bit more reach in the back leg. Still tall on those back toes. If you still need, you can keep your hands on your hips to relax the shoulders and focus on pulling in the core. One more reach, inhale. Float the hands down to frame the left foot. Draw in the core to keep the stretch happening. Inhale, lower the left knee, shoulders are back. Exhale, back into our half split. You're welcome to take any other variation you'd like. I find this makes it a little bit easier to relax over the leg, but it's also what you have available. You have your body, no matter what, right? Lift up, inhale, and forward fold over the left leg. Try to keep the sole of the foot facing away from you, and for extra, you're gonna pull the toes back and feel that little kind of zing stretch. Lengthen out the breath. Soften whatever is not helping right now. Could be your shoulders, it could be a thought. Let's sit up. Back to a lunge. Tuck the back toes, lift the knee, and step it back with control to downward facing dog. Mindfully arrive where you know you can go and hold. Upward facing dog. Lean on the left hip, look over the right shoulder. And switch sides. Maybe this doesn't feel as intense as it did a little bit ago. That's changes happening in your body. Come back to center, inhale. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Right leg back and up. Point the right toe, squeeze the right hip. 2 breaths. Right foot steps up between the hands. Lower the back knee and press back to a half split where you stay lifted onto fingertips or a block, stretching through the right hamstring with a long back. And then from here, you're going to scoot the right foot forward, the left foot back. I'm going to put a block underneath my right sit bone and find where you're going to hold. And then think of something you're grateful for. Think about the breath, relax your temples. Let's start to release. It wasn't that long, not that bad, right? All right, bring the right foot back, the left foot in. Find tabletop neutral spine, and let's do 1 cat-cow to reset and scan right to left. Inhale. Long exhale, pull in the stomach, arch the back, tuck the tailbone. Neutral spine, find downward facing dog. Left leg back and up. For a hold, press the left hand down, squeeze the left glute. Left foot steps up between the hands. Let's lower the right knee and press back to your half split to start. So go up onto fingertips or a block if you need to, just to tell your front hamstrings, like, okay, something's about to happen. But we're okay. We're mindful, we're aware. And then start, excuse me, to scoot the left foot forward, right foot back. Any props you need, Just find a place you can try to breathe with control. I know the arms get tired. Everything's moving. All right. Find your peace, your calm, your ease in the pose. All right. Carefully transition out. Very careful during transitions in general, right? On the mat, off the mat. Let's press, oh, I'm sorry, stay in tabletop for one cat-cow. Inhale. Press the hands and feet down to arch. Long exhale, scoop and press. Neutral spine, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Find stillness again. Reach the right leg back and up just for a reach. So open the hip, press the right hand, and bring the right knee behind the right wrist for pigeon. You want your hips square to the top of the mat as best as you can. Someday the right shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat. Let's soften over the right leg for just about 4 to 5 breaths. Your body-mind connection is strong right now. Trust that you can choose to relax through the stress. Start to press out. Either try to sit up and feel the hip flexor stretch, or optional quad stretch. You're going to reach back with the left hand, pull the right shoulder back as you bring the foot towards you. Don't lift the hips, just to get closer to the foot. If you guys do this class every day for 2 weeks, you will see a huge difference. I guarantee you, in your overall flexibility and in your splits. You might take a picture, tag me, and show me progress. Come back to a lunge, and let's do a crescent lunge for strength. Pull in the core. How much can you keep the legs exactly where they are? Tall on the toes of the back foot. Let's try to press the arms straight, the legs straight. Hands float down to frame the right foot. Downward facing dog, stillness. Left leg back and up. Hold for 2 breaths. Pigeon left side. Square the hips. Use your props. Someday the hips or the shin is parallel to the front edge of the mat. Be respectful of the time it takes to relax into a pose for both sides. Find relaxation in the present moment. Focus back on the breath. Smooth out any tension that creeps up. Use your arms to help you to sit up and stay here, or take the quad stretch. Bend the right knee, pull the left shoulder back, but you're using the right hand to bring the foot in for a quad stretch. I feel like there's also a lot more happening, but we call it that. Breathe. And let the foot go. Press into the hands. Carefully find a crescent lunge. Start out with the lunge. How much can you leave the legs as they are? Toes of the back foot strong. Both legs. Lift the upper body up. Arms overhead. Let's straighten the back leg as much as you can. Straighten the arms. Hands float down to frame the left foot. Downward facing dog. One more upward facing dog, ripple through. And let's lean on the left hip, look over the right shoulder. Switch sides, dip the right hip down. Come back to center, inhale, unshrug the shoulders. Long exhale back to a child's pose. Knees just a comfortable distance apart. Breathe in and out through the nose. Remember when we were here just like a little bit ago? Notice all the changes you just created, all the shifts, all the space you made in your body, in your mind, in your freedom to move, to think and choose your actions. Let's press into the hands to lift up. We've got one more side, if you will. Middle splits. Oh my gosh, don't you love mosquitoes? All right, we're almost there, guys. You're not ruining my video. Okay, hi. Let's stand up. Bring your hands to your hips. Feet pointing forward. And you're going to fold forward between the legs. Hang here for a moment. Lengthen out your spine. So walk your hands out in front of you, and you're going to keep your feet pointing forward. In this split attempt, we want the inner thighs to go towards the mat. So you will either hang in your forward fold for as long as you need to, or you're going to start to walk your feet out. Keep the feet flat for a little bit until you feel comfortable enough to relax and hold on to a prop or rest on one. Okay, I'm doing this too. Let's breathe. And find your ease in the pose. I'll let you know you're almost there. Stay strong. No one can take the work you've put in away from you when it comes to working on yourself. Relax your thoughts. Couple more slow breaths and you will have done such a great job. Oh, hi Caesar. And release. Oh, any way that you could get out of this. You worm forward, you move back. Oh, let's bring the feet back together and place the soles of the feet on the mat and windshield wiper the knees. Feet about hip width distance. And then let's sit down. Bring it so the sit comfortably. The left foot is in front, or my right shin is the one closest to you, okay? Sit up tall. And reach your arms overhead. Let's just fold forward over both legs. You might not go very far. Just take a couple of breaths to think about why you should be proud of yourself today. Let's just keep it simple. Walk your hands back in and twist to the right. So place the right hand, right hand behind you, left hand to the right knee. Right hand's your kickstand, so you're sitting up tall. Draw the right shoulder back. And release. Let's switch out the cross of the legs. Lift up, feel tall, and fold forward. You can be on a prop, or I could grab Caesar. Slow down the breath. Commit to keeping this calm with you, this successful feeling with you for the rest of your day or evening. Sit up, and we will twist to the left. Bring the right hand to the left knee. Left hand is your kickstand to help you to sit up straight. And come back to center. We'll close with a breath. Inhale, arms overhead. Lift up, reach up, breathe in a little extra at the end. Long exhale down, third eye center. Trust your intuition, hands to heart center or by your sides. Thank you for joining me today. Please subscribe, please comment, let me know what you need, what you think, and I will see you in my next video. Oh, and namaste, namaste. Caesar says namaste. Oh my gosh. Namaste.